first place we're going to start is the pantry. What do you got, Tana?
All right, let's see what we have. Oh, okay, we have some nuts. Got several nuts.
Dry roasted almonds.
Okay. Got some oils. More oil. Olive oil, vegetable oil.
Ah, poison. That goes in the kill you early pile.
Red wine vinegar.
That stays and keep you alive a long time. Oh. Skippy peanut butter. I grew up on this stuff. If only they taught me how to read labels, then I would have thought my mother was trying to kill me.
That's right.
Roasted peanuts, sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oils. Oh, that means poison.
Poison. And a lot of people don't know that peanuts are not nuts. They're legumes, and they are very high in something called aflatoxin, which is a carcinogen.
But the good news is there's great peanut butter.
There's also
Just not this.
There's also great alternatives. So we'll get
Breadcrumbs. All right, let's count how many ingredients are in breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs. Rich flour. That's not bad. Partially hydrogenated. Anything that says hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated means early death. Monosodium glutamate. I actually once had a patient who would get violent whenever he had MSG. No.
They're very bad for kids. Do we really need to even talk about this one?
Sun syrup. God, I love this stuff.
It doesn't love you.
High fructose corn syrup. So anything that says hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated or high fructose corn syrup, just assume it's poison and will kill you early.
Right.
So as soon as you read that on the label, you actually don't have to read the other 7, 8, 9, 10 things, including red dye, which has been shown to cause behavior problems in children. And actually, I already have behavior problems, so I don't need any more encouraging.
That's right. We have one we can save.
Yellow mustard. I love that.
Oh, another one we can save, I think. Yep, this one's great. Tomato puree, chilies. It's got some food starch, but vinegar, gluten-free.
Wow.
Does have some salt, but not bad.
Salsa actually is generally very low calorie. This is only 10 calories for 2 tablespoons. And it's got a lot of good stuff.
And it's a great alternative to ketchup.
Oh, give me a heart arrhythmia. My grandfather was a candy maker. I mean, like a real candy maker. I used to make fudge with him. So, how many ingredients? And the first one being high fructose corn syrup. And then we have milk. And what most people don't know is that after the age of 5, 70% of people in the world do not process milk well in their digestive system. So the less milk, probably the better. So we have high fructose corn syrup, milk, corn syrup, partially hydrogenated coconut oil. Coconut oil is not the problem, it's the hydrogenated part.
Coconut oil is great if it's not hydrogenated.
Monodiglycerides. You need a chemist to know in the bad
Scary.
pile.
Another note on milk. If you're going to drink milk, it's best to drink it organic where they're not adding extra growth hormone to it. So it's a big problem with milk and the antibiotics. So if you're going to drink milk, make sure that it's organic.
Well, in any animal products, you want to be thinking about them as hormone-free, antibiotic-free, free range, which meant they didn't raise it in a small cage. And you also want to have a sense of what the meat you eat, what they ate, because you basically consume what they consume.
Absolutely.
And while you're there, I love the almonds, but these are dry roasted and they have salt. Our preference would be raw almonds, just because you want to be careful with the sodium. This has 115 milligrams per serving.
Well, and it's more than that. The beyond that, almonds, all the wonderful natural fats that are so amazing for you, you lose. You lose all that benefit when you roast them.
So better to have them raw. So what do you think? Good pile, bad pile?
Bad pile. They have to go.
Pinto beans with jalapeno peppers. Now that can't be bad for you. Except there's like 14 ingredients in here. Pinto beans, no problem. Peppers, good. Oh, hydrogenated cottonseed oil. As soon as you say hydrogenated anything.
Yes, and cottonseed oil is not good for you. One thing about beans. Beans are a fabulous source of fiber and protein, especially for vegetarians, if you're not sensitive to them. Many people have sensitivities to legumes, beans, and also to some grains, unless they're prepared correctly. If you prepare them fresh, you soak them and cook them properly, it eliminates a lot of the problem.
Tomato sauce, love it. Except what's in it? Tomatoes, salt, dehydrated onions, garlic. Garlic is great. Sweet bell peppers, good. Aha, chicken broth. Love chicken broth. Hello, why is there cane sweetened anything in chicken broth?
Yeah, and actually most of the chicken broths do not have that, so you really want to pay attention because you can get chicken broth without anything in it. Also, if you are gluten-free, it will say gluten-free. This one's not gluten-free.
So we should talk about that a little bit because we're going to get to the bread in a little bit. About 7% of the population in America is sensitive to gluten. That means 21 million people. And people who are gluten sensitive often have a lot of problems, diarrhea, constipation, upset stomach, gas, but they also have cognitive problems. They have problems with depression, anxiety. We actually see overall lower activity in their brain. If you don't know that you're sensitive to gluten, it's often good to get a blood test or do yourself a big favor and take a challenge for a month and go off everything that could possibly have gluten in it. Garlic vegetable instant rice noodle soup.
Usually if it says instant, it instantly has to go.
Well, and if the ingredient list is like there's 30 things, it means just put it in the pile that will kill you early.
Instant anything is usually instant death. So, and the American staple.
Pasta, doesn't that turn into like sugar like immediately?
If you see white rice or pasta, think sugar. You're eating a bowl of sugar.
No. Now, you have a secret though with pasta.
I do.
They're called shirataki noodles.
We are going to share that in a little bit.
So there are alternatives that are actually very tasty that you can do so you don't have to think you're getting rid of spaghetti forever.
That's right.
Now, let's just spend a little bit of time right now, since Tana brought up, and I brought up omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. So omega-6 fatty acids, we call those fall fats because they kill you early. They are things that are found in corn and soy, vegetable oils. That's why the vegetable oil is over here, because it increases omega-6s. And omega-6s are what we call pro-inflammatory. So that means it increases the fire in your body, and we think is responsible for diabetes and heart disease, depression, and dementia. Omega-3 fatty acids, on the other hand, come from fish and walnuts, avocados, green leafy vegetables. They energize people. They're called spring fats. You want to take things like vegetable oil and partially hydrogenated oils and completely get them out of your diet. So people think olive oil, oh, this must be really healthy. Well, it's not always true. See, it's really healthy at room temperature. If you cook high heat with it, it turns toxic.
That's right.
So the things to cook for high heat would be grapeseed oil and coconut oil.
If you're going to cook at high heat, like really high heat, coconut oil is probably the best. Grapeseed oil is great at medium heat, medium-high heat. And I just had to bring this out because we were talking about oils. Fish oil.
Omega-3 fatty acids.
Will drop your inflammation in your body. It's wonderful for balancing all the omega-6s that we're just poisoning.
And the American Heart
with.
Association recommends for heart health that you take 1,000 milligrams a day. I usually recommend between 1,000 and 3,000.
I take 5,000. So because I was insulin resistant.
And you got that beautiful?
What can I say?
Wow, I'm going to take more.
So.
And that's barley.
Barley.
Keep that.
It's not gluten-free, so as long as you're not sensitive to gluten, it's great.
Barley has actually been found to stabilize people's blood sugar for up to 11 hours. So a lot of people think, well, I can't eat this way. It's so expensive. So for about an 89-cent package of barley, you can get 8 servings. And it's very good for you unless, of course, you're gluten sensitive.
Did you know we were going to a drug house?
Let's see. So you don't want me to take these home for you?
No. By the way, we are not actually opposed to real dark chocolate made with raw cacao. The raw cacao, which is what cocoa is before it's processed, is actually very good for you and loaded with antioxidants. Let's see what we have here. Oh, tea. We have tea.
Tea is good.
Tea is good. Tea is fine.
So green tea, 3 cups of green tea a day has been shown to lengthen your DNA, which actually means that your DNA is becoming younger. A little bit of caffeine is fine. And tea, when it is caffeinated, has about half the caffeine as coffee. So tea gets to stay.
Okay, now here's something interesting. 100% pure maple syrup. Most maple syrups in the store have no maple in them. And they'll actually say things like pancake syrup. There's not an ounce of maple in them. It's all high fructose corn syrup. This one is 100% pure maple syrup. And maple syrup...
So that gets to stay.
Maple syrup is loaded with zinc and manganese. It actually has lots of zinc and manganese in it. It's still sugar.
So you have to be careful and not have...
small amounts.
Much of it, but a little bit is fine, and it will be much more nutritious and is more likely to satisfy your appetite than...
But it's not as high fructose as some of the other ones. But for cooking with, we would recommend...
This one's okay, this one.
Right. Recommend cooking with raw organic honey or a little bit of maple syrup. Cut out the sugar and the high fructose corn syrup.
Ah, you found the drugs.
This was my staple food growing up. My crack cocaine right here.
Corn.
Probably the reason I got sick so often.
And what about these?
Instant oatmeal, I'm not a huge fan of. Steel cut oats are not as bad. If you're going to eat it, know that you're eating a high glycemic food going in. And a couple tricks you can do to lower it. You can add protein powder to it. To add some protein, throw in some chopped nuts and some berries. And now you have dropped the glycemic load of your meal and made it more complete. You've added some phytonutrients, some fats, and some protein, and it makes it a complete meal.
And Kashi is a company that really tries to do the right thing. So in one serving, there's 9 grams of protein, 7 grams of fiber,
right,
and 7 whole grains.
Well, the protein is a huge
there is
thing.
some evaporated cane juice. Just think to yourself, sugar. But everything else is really pretty good. This is something that gets to stay,
right.
I think.
I do too.
You ban coffee. All right. So you're going to hear a lot of different things about coffee. Coffee is good for you. Coffee is bad for you. Caffeine gives you energy. Caffeine's addictive. Just be very clear. A little bit of coffee is not bad for you. It's the stuff you put in it to make it palatable that will kill you early. So there's 160 different antioxidants in coffee, but when you put cream or milk or artificial sweeteners, you just ruined all the benefit.
And decaf doesn't have the same antioxidant benefits.
Plus, caffeine increases cortisol, which is a stress hormone, gives you problems sleeping, can make you anxious. People go through withdrawal. I say less is better, but if you're going to have something like coffee in the morning, a little bit of almond milk is much better for you.
Or coconut milk creamer.
Or coconut milk, and stevia as a sweetener. One of the drawers we don't have time for that is the medicine drawer is actually the spice drawer. Things like garlic and rosemary, thyme, basil, cinnamon have wonderful health benefits, and they make things taste right.
Yeah.
So make sure that you have the healthy spices, but read the ingredients on the label.
One little note is one of the reasons that we eat all these processed foods is because our taste buds have been hijacked. So we have come to depend on this stuff for anything to taste good.
In about 3 weeks, if you start eating the way that the Daniel Plan recommends, you'll notice that things start to taste so much better because the big food companies will no longer have control over your taste buds.
Yeah, they've hijacked you. So you're hostage.
Great. So if you look at it, about 1 quarter, 1/5, good stuff, healthy for you, and about 3/4 not really great. The benefit to this family is going to be amazing. But now we're going to take just a little look into the refrigerator.